why does imposter syndrome hit hardest when building a personal brand?
Yeah, so I've thought about this question a lot, in terms of like my personal brand.
Yeah.
I had a previous personal brand that was around me being a lawyer.
Yeah.
And I actually found it really hard to know how to transition that brand.
Yeah.
Like I did it personally in my personal life. I transitioned from law to entrepreneur, but figuring out how to to share that with the world on that personal brand, and also figuring out what to do with that personal brand. Did I just shut it down? Did I transform it? Like all of that kind of stuff. I actually went on that journey myself of like, how do I convey what I'm doing? In an authentic way, in a way that like made sense, in a way that wasn't weird.
Sure.
Like it was hard. But I think what I would say is why people probably feel this feeling of imposter syndrome, maybe, is because they're putting themselves out there, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to like a personal brand, you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
You're saying like, this is who you are to the world. And you're like, if you're creating content, like you're creating reels, you're recording videos.
You're exposing yourself on
You're
this.
exposing yourself a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're putting yourself out there. You're like making a stand, right? It's like the equivalent of standing up on a stage and doing a solo. Like, when you were in primary school, like, I don't know, if you were in primary school and they were like, right, you're doing the solo.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're going to get up on stage and you're going to do a little solo. Yeah. You're really like putting yourself forward on the virtual stage that is the online space. You're going to put yourself out there and you're going to say, this is me. And what, like we discussed previously, when you put something out there, you open yourself up to praise, but you also open yourself up to criticism.
Really? Oh, massively.
So like maybe that's why people are having this like thing. It's not because they don't want to put themselves out there, but they're maybe scared of what is the result of that. Like, are they going to get some backlash?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, let's unpack this because I know you and I have been on a journey together for a little while now, and we've spoken about this before. And especially when we were building company culture, eStudios, and really thinking about what is it that we want to navigate and how do we navigate some of those specific topics. We talked a little bit about your journey going through law school and then starting at law and navigating teams and personalities. Can you touch a little bit on what affected you as part of the so-called imposter syndrome? What did that look like practically in your day-to-day? Kind of what did you face?
I have to be honest, like I wasn't someone who like, I don't feel like imposter syndrome has been my story. I will say that, but I remember specifically a friend of mine when I was a trainee saying to me, I feel a bit of like imposter syndrome in the meeting, because I'm having to like present this bravado. Like I qualified into corporate law, like specifically in corporate, you had to like, well, some people felt that you had to kind of like put yourselves next to like the big men who were, corporate lawyers.
More experience.
Yeah, like a typical like I'm just being honest, like a typical white corporate male. Like, and then how do you as like female, for example, like in my case, how do you kind of stand against them
establish yourself?
Establish yourself. Yeah, like when you're so different. And I'm sure there's so many elements of this. My truth has always been, and this is the case across lots of things, I've probably faced like a bit of like a challenge navigating being like a woman, in terms of like, do I feel held back because I'm a woman, for example, as opposed to being a man? And in like a corporate workplace or like now in entrepreneurship. But the truth is, I think like I personally have always felt that I am an individual and I have something to give to the world.
Absolutely.
And therefore my something to give is more valuable than maybe like someone's opinion of why someone else might be better. And like, it's not about me being perfect. It's just about me having something that I want to share with the world and therefore doing so. And that's always been my encouragement. I feel like I've been someone who's wanted to put myself out there at times, but I have like in how I've done that, maybe I've curated it, maybe at times I've held back. Like, I was saying about transitioning from my lawyer brand, like now developing it into a personal brand. I actually didn't post for like a long time, like a good couple of years, because I was navigating in the background my own journey and I had to figure out, okay, what is the image I want to present online here? So whilst I was navigating that, figuring it out, I then waited before I posted.
Sure, I love that.
But some people, and like looking back retrospectively, I do wish I'd just taken people on that journey with me of figuring it out.
Sure.
Rather than
you
do
always,
that
right?
big pause. But that's retrospect, right?
That's
but
it.
I think like that's all I would say of my personal journey. Everyone's journey is different. But I think you have to you just have to go through those stages
Ups
of that journey. And
I guess from what I'm hearing on the back of that is obviously you've experienced the feeling. You then have identified, wait a minute, I don't like feeling this. Then realizing that actually you're being held back, and the action you've taken is recognizing, number one, you have a lot more value to give that you don't really have had the opportunity or the platform to do so, and then making a transition.
So creating that space.
Exactly.
Right? So like I think social media creates comparison. Right? So it's creating comparison between one person and the next, one business and the next. But at the same time, it creates opportunity for growth, right? Like by seeing what other people are doing well, you can then figure out how to do things better, right?
Yeah.
Like we were talking before about a piece of the pie for everyone, right?
Yeah.
I think there's room to just see how other people navigate things and learn like how to navigate it yourself. So yes, as a person who's maybe putting yourself out there on social media, personal brand level, it can be intimidating. It can be a little bit scary, like to film that content and put it out there for the world. And you might be scared of backlash, especially if you've got like a strong opinion.
That's sure.
But at the same time, maybe you just need to remember that your like value isn't in someone's negative comment.
That's it.
And your value isn't in like someone disagreeing with you. Actually, your value is in who you are as an individual, and you are also entitled to put your piece of pie out there.
Absolutely.
Because like we all have something to share with this world, right? Like if Albert Einstein was like, my piece of pie isn't worth it, like where would we be today?
Exactly.
You know, all these great like people who've helped us develop over time, like different areas, like all the inventors of the past, like they had something to give to the world, and we all have something to give. So like maybe your piece is still important, and even if like you only influence one person for good, you're still influencing a person.
Absolutely.